Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode and the first episode of Top Rope Podcasts. My name is James, this is Ian.
Hi.
And please bear with us, we are aware that the audio can be a little bit crap, but this is on a very tight budget. Zero budget, exactly. Right, so what we're going to start off with this week is going to be hot news. There's not been a great deal going on this week, but Ian, take it away.
So the first thing, Daniel Bryan's injured again.
Legit
Injured. He got in the European tour. He got injured. So they pulled him from the tour to try and protect him, see how he went. But it looks like he's going to miss up to 5 weeks of tape. Well, at least 5 weeks of it. So take 5 weeks off anyway.
Oh yeah. What's wrong with him
then? I think he got a concussion, and then where he's had his neck problems from last year.
Right.
It's precautionary. So.
Did they vacate the title last year?
Yeah, because of it. Yeah.
Right.
But it looks like because they're actually going to miss the match at the pay-per-view this month.
Right.
So they haven't confirmed it yet, but it looks like he's going to miss it. So what they're going to do with the match, not quite sure yet.
Right.
So that's all up in the air. Next thing is WWE have banned the curb stomp move.
I've heard about this.
Now apparently it's not officially banned.
Right.
It's just put on the back burner. So my understanding is, do you think the pile driver is a banned move in WWE?
It was, wasn't it? I believe it was, but now it's like they only use it in to get a story proper over.
See, yeah, I thought it was still banned, but apparently it's been put on that list. It's on the it can be, but only for special events or special reasons.
Right.
It's because of where WWE are being sued at the moment by 3 former wrestlers, from the golden era.
So you don't know who?
I don't know their names today.
Right.
Bad reporting. Apologise. For concussions and stuff, they're trying to take it out because someone could sustain concussion from it.
Right.
But I'm sure there's worse moves for it.
Yeah. Pretty much any move can go completely wrong, isn't it?
Well, this is what makes me laugh is because basically Seth Rollins has to pick up a new finisher.
Right.
So I don't know if you've seen the finisher.
Wait, it's a new one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
So basically it's like an underhook DDT, but instead of him rolling back with them, he goes on his belly and they go on like a DDT. So it's say imagine like this, a DDT you go like this.
Right.
This way he goes like this and drives them down face first.
Right.
So basically he's driving. He's still
he
driving.
gets him up like that and then he just drops down.
Yeah.
So
he's still driving their head into the mat.
Right. Okay.
So I don't really.
It's not really like.
And apparently WWE's excuse is they want a move that he can do to anyone, anytime, like the RKO, which to me isn't any quicker than the curb stomp.
Yeah, the curb stomp
you
you
still
can
have to
power
hold
out.
them and drop them. It's not the RKO. Literally, you just pull down.
Right.
So
Doesn't really make a great deal of sense.
it didn't look bad. The move looked alright.
But the curb stomp, at first, I didn't like the curb stomp. I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was a ridiculous move. It looks like something that shouldn't really be a move. It's almost like it's a kick or a punch. It's just like a
I think I liked it. I don't think it
almost.
looked like a finisher. It looked like a signature.
Yeah.
Like a set up for another move. Because his one is a powerbomb into the turnbuckle.
Right,
It's
yeah.
a signature. But, yeah. So, I don't know. Lots of people making a fuss about it. The other move looks alright. Personally, I would have liked him to see use the Phoenix Splash as a finisher.
Yes.
But I suppose being heel,
You
that's
can't
a
really go for
face
top
move.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that one
That's a bit silly, but
with it.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect Seth Rollins. I think he's still got enough moves that he's still being excited.
I mean, there's not many wrestlers that their finisher defines them. I mean, you've got Austin and the Stunner, but I wouldn't
Rock.
say. Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Triple H.
I wouldn't say that. Triple H less so. I reckon more people could name the Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow and the Stone Cold Stunner.
But true, but there's
compared to a
some
pedigree.
moves are just who else have you ever seen do a pedigree? And
China.
All right. Who have you seen use it and keep it as their finisher? No one does a rock bomb. No one does People's Elbow.
Booker T does a Rock Bomb.
Okay.
It's called a bookend. But
Alright, true.
same
But there's a few moves that no one else has tried to think because everyone knows they're going to think, oh, you're copying off them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think it affects Seth Rollins. So.
No, it shouldn't do, should it?
Doesn't really affect us, but NXT they've announced they're going on tour now in America, doing live shows. Obviously, smaller venues still like Full Sail University, but it's a step in the next direction. So
Yeah.
hopefully they come over here one day.
Oh, I'll tell you what, if they do,
We'll do a special report from the stands.
Christ, yeah. That would be awesome. Don't even know any words so I can, describe
it'd
how
be
awesome
But
that'd be.
it's showing that the brand's moving bigger.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know how big they want NXT to go though. It's still a
Developmental.
a territory. But there's only so far I can go.
But if they're going on the road, I know, like, obviously there's the whole, it's helping wrestlers get used to being on the road.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we were going on the road, it's kind of like it's become a product of its own.
Exactly. So
maybe they might shift it into a direction of, you know, where it's going to be its own product.
But then, to me, you're going to need another NXT to replace it because you've just turned NXT into something else. That's no longer what NXT was meant to be.
True, and then you might, you know, might suffer with.
Then you need.
Not getting decent.
It's like because basically that's what ECW was eventually. It was what TNA's becoming now.
Yeah, it's just a training ground. Probably.
Yeah.
TNA? You mean NXT?
Yeah, no, ECW.
Carry on. Alright, carry on.
So I think in the end, I feel like if it gets so big, they're going to need another NXT to be an NXT again. That makes sense.
Right.
Because NXT won't be what it was designed to be. So, but still looking good. No, it's cool. Next thing is Jericho podcast has been announced to the network.
Yeah.
Have you seen who the guests are?
Oh yeah, Stephanie McMahon.
Oh yeah. So should be interesting.
It should be interesting. Part of me, I hate kayfabe like interviews, but at the same time, everyone knows how awesome.
They haven't been though.
No, I know they haven't been.
Oh,
what I'm saying is, you know, like if this was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, it'd be kayfabe to hell.
Yeah, imagine Jericho and Stephanie McMahon doing a podcast.
True, yeah.
That would be awesome because they have obviously had that massive feud.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It should be interesting to see like Stephanie's take on it.
I'd like to see how non-kayfabe she goes because I think Vince and Triple H both did. They just told her how it was pretty much. If Vince didn't want to talk about it, he just said, "I'm not going to talk about it."
Yeah.
Where Triple H kind of did answer everything Austin asked him to.
Yeah.
But I think Jericho, whether he asked the same type of questions, like he did. If you haven't watched the Cena one, still have you?
No, still not. Everyone's picked it up though.
The Cena one's good, but it's not like Jericho asked Cena questions that we've all been dying to ask him. Like the questions that no one's asked him before.
Right.
So will Jericho ask ones from Stephanie that like, is it just me generic ones that you could hear in any interview, or will it be stuff like Austin, stuff that you would expect them to ask, or stuff the fans are asking but they never get asked because it's a WWE product and they're not going to say, "Oh, ask me these questions."
Right.
But
it should be. When's that up next Monday? It's after Raw, isn't it?
Well,
that's when the Triple H.
I think it's this Monday. I think it's after the Raw. Yeah, it's either this week or next week. In the next couple of weeks after Raw. So
that'll be good. That'll be good to watch.
Also, I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it was this week past gone on Raw on the network. Hulk Hogan's cartoon from the 80s debuted on the network after Raw.
Oh, seriously?
So
have you given it a watch? You gonna watch it?
Probably not. So something to look out for if you're a Hogan fan.
I might give it a watch if I'm like. No, there's no situation that I'd ever give that a watch. If I've got access to the network, no way am I ever going to watch that.
It's bad enough. It's a wrestling cartoon, but it's a Hogan wrestling cartoon, and the cast is all like Iron Sheik and like I could not.
People that no one from today's generation.
I could not imagine anything less interesting. So,
no.
But it's out there. So that's the hot news for the week.
Yeah, nothing else.
That's it.
All right then. Well, so what we're going on to next, TNA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So for all of you Impact fans out there, and I know there's going to be thousands of you. 5. We're not even going to have 5 viewers for this. I'd be surprised if we get 5 viewers. I'll tell you what. If we get 5 viewers, please, if you watch this, comment in the section below and let us know what you watch. And then we might even try and talk about that a bit more.
Hi Kens, hi Paz, hi Chris.
Hi Mom.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Alright, CM Punk. Right. Okay, so kicking off with Impact then. It was another solid week.
Yeah.
Yeah, another good Impact. And do you remember me saying last week, you guys won't because we didn't upload that video because it was even more.
We had a pilot.
It was a pilot, and it was even more noobish than this video is going to be. But as I mentioned last week, so this week there was the tag team title tournament.
Yeah.
Because if you're not aware, the Wolves had to vacate their titles because Eddie Edwards got legit injured. So they set up a tournament. To be honest, I can't remember exactly how many teams there were, but I'm just about to run through it. So the whole episode was based on the tag titles.
So the whole
Impact
was about the tournament.
Was about the tournament, yeah, which I was happy about. But
yeah, it's something different, isn't it?
Yeah, and as we said, like it would have been good if maybe they spread it out and then led up to maybe a pay-per-view where they had the final match for the titles. But it was good to watch.
Even if you did the whole episode as a a tournament, but then the finals was a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It might have gone down a bit better that way actually.
But then I suppose with the way TNA they don't really have pay-per-views, they're very rare. But no, there's like what 8 weeks now.
I think it might even be even less than that.
Is it really?
They've only got like, is it 4 a year or something?
Yeah, so it must be like 12 weeks then.
Yeah, something like that. It's not very often they have pay-per-views.
I suppose this is why you could have like a mini. It gives you that pay-per-view feel without having a pay-per-view event.
Yeah. Well, either way, so it started off with the Hardys versus James Storm and Koya. Koya's the Indian guy that's with James Storm in the Revolution. Yeah. It looks like, by the way, do you remember me saying about Sanada, the Japanese wrestler, who is awesome?
Yeah.
Apparently, he's no longer on the active roster list, which is so harsh. He was underused. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of glad he's gone for his benefit, because at least now he's not going to be underused.
Well, yeah, I'm sure like he's going to go back to Japan or
and
RH or something like that and get used.
Hopefully not even ROH. Well, I don't know. ROH, they don't have they're not really on the mics, are they?
No.
As much. So yeah, maybe Ring of Honor, but either way, unfortunately, he's gone, which does mean we won't see him on TV anymore, which is a crime because he's a fantastic wrestler. But at least he's going to be getting decent TV time in Japan or wherever he goes. So anyway, it was Storm and Koya against the Hardys. A bit of a generic match, really. It was all right. I'll be honest. The Hardys, I'm kind of sort of drifting from. I've been watching them for almost 15 years now. I was going to say,
I mean, I haven't watched Impact in a while, but when I have seen the Hardys match, I don't know if it's different than when I watched it in 1999.
It might be a bit sloppier, but that's about it.
A bit sloppier. There may be a different move, but they have not changed at all.
No. As I said, though, when Jeff Hardy a few weeks ago had a cage match against Storm, he did there was a couple of things that he'd done that I hadn't seen him do before, like swinging off it wasn't a cage match, it was I want to say Full Metal Mayhem, but I think that's like their version of TLC. I can't remember.
Like the Hell in a Cell, but there's no outside, it's just
it's a cage with a roof with weapons.
Yeah,
Monster's Ball or something like that. It's something like that. There was a couple of good moves from there. But anyway, sorry, getting back to Impact. The match was alright, it was worth a watch, but it ended with Hardy's winning. Jeff done a swanton to Koya. It was an okay match, but it was a good way to kick off Impact. It was quite a short match as well, so it wasn't like you started Impact with a dragon, it was a good match to start with, I guess.
Yeah.
Then it went to a break, obviously, and then Eric Young came down, cut a promo about looking forward to saying about having his one-on-one match with Angle next week for the title. Because last week there was the triple threat match with Angle, Bobby Lashley, Eric Young. That was for the title. Obviously Angle won with a moonsault, which is a rare occasion.
Nice.
But yeah, there was a little promo. It was alright. Basically, at the moment Eric Young is heel.
Right, yeah, that's what you're saying, yeah.
Angle's face. And there was kind of the whole Kurt Angle turned his back while he was in the ring talking to Eric Young. And he basically said, I want to fight the Eric Young that's got honour and all this. So he turned around and he was like, take a cheap shot if you want to, but I'm hoping that that's not the Eric Young that's going to be going for the title next week.
Right.
Eric Young didn't go for the cheap shot.
Right.
So maybe it's a face turn coming. They're kind of teasing maybe a face turn coming up. So, but time will tell. Okay, so the next tag match was Kenny King and Low Key versus Rockstar Spud and Ken Anderson, or Mr. Anderson. Anderson. I'm almost tempted to take the mic off. He still does it. Yeah, the mic still comes down.
I always like that.
Yeah, it's good. His music's pretty rocking in TNA as well. He's got pretty awesome music. That was an okay match. Obviously, the Beatdown Clan, Kenny King, Low Key, they were going to win. It would have been pointless for them not to win the match, especially as Rockstar Spud is currently the TNA X Division champ. Wouldn't really have made any.
Yeah, it's too much of it.
So they won the match, and that was going to go through to. That meant they got through to the final match at the end of the night, which was the Ultimate X match. The main highlight of that match, or the only memorable bit that I can think of from that match, was at one point Ken Anderson picked up Rockstar Spud like he was going to go for a back body drop.
Right.
But instead of back body dropping him, he just launched him at Kenny King, and Kenny King done a Hurricane Runner
Nice.
Spud done Hurricane Runner to Kenny King,
Nice.
which is pretty good. And then the ending was actually pretty good. So Rockstar Spud went for a pin on Kenny King,
Right.
and it was the pin. This will reminisce you about No Mercy days,
Right.
on the 64. So the pin where, like, say this is the guy laying like there,
Yeah.
the other guy lays on top like that.
Yeah.
He was like, Spud was pinning like that,
Right.
and Loki went for Warrior's Way or coup de grace
Right. Nice.
onto Spud, which must have hurt Kenny King as well.
Well,
Because
yeah.
not only, like,
It's got his body and then someone else is just driving his body. Well, it's going to hurt, but it's not like he's not pushing impact on it. It's just like the pressure on you where,
true.
if he's got like someone's still stamping on your back, it's going to hurt.
True. There's not an impact. It's just the pressure, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. But look, it did look good.
I would rather not take it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that. I'd rather not take any bump.
That's and that's why we sit on a camera, not in the ring.
Exactly. Because we're pussies. Right. So, next match, after the Beatdown Clown win, is Tigre Uno, Tiger 1, and Jay Rios versus Bram and EC3. As I said last week, Bram I've started to get behind. He's got a lot better on the mic. He's pretty good in the ring. I wouldn't say he's anything special in the ring, but his mic skills hold him up. And even in the ring, he doesn't even need a mic. He's just got such a loud voice. You can hear every word he says when he's in the ring. This was actually a surprisingly good match because I was kind of expecting Tigre Uno and Jay Rios to win, but they didn't. Bram and EC3 won, but it was a good match. It was actually back and forth. It wasn't just they didn't just job to them.
Yeah.
I do think it was a bit pointless them bringing in Tigre Uno and Jay Rios to come in just to job for a match, but.
So they have a tournament. They're just going to chuck your teams together.
Yeah, that's always the way it is, isn't it, I guess. EC3 got a pin on Jay Rios after Bram done a brighter side of suffering, which is basically an implant DDT.
Right. Okay.
It does lift him up really high though,
Yeah.
and it does probably drive him in. It might have just been because Jay Rios is little and he was
Yes.
able to get some height on
Yeah.
it, but it looked pretty good. Right, so also in that match, Jay Rios he springed off the middle rope,
Right.
jumped backwards, and done a cutter to, I can't remember who it was to one of them, to either Bram or
So it's
EC3.
almost what John Cena is doing with the stunner.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So would you say Tina's maybe copying WWE again?
Well, this was filmed 4 weeks ago.
When was WrestleMania?
It's less than 4 weeks ago. I'm gonna go with TNA did it best.
Alright, just put it out there. Just how there's sometimes coincidence between TNA and WWE.
There are some coincidences, but this I'm gonna go with TNA. Anyway, he's not even really TNA, this Jay Rios. He's just been brought in for
I'm
this
just
match.
saying. I'm
but
just saying. Yeah.
by the way, it looked good because he just sprung backwards
Yeah.
and managed to catch into a cutter. Did look good. Right, so do you remember last week I was saying after this match there was another interview with Mike Tenay?
Yeah. I've read these segments they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this week it was with Rockstar Spud, which is a little bit naff because it's Rockstar Spud.
Yeah.
He's alright, but
You just don't care about him.
well, it's not even that. It's just like he hasn't really got much of an interesting past.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not like this big character that you know and want to know more about. It's just like
it's not like he's been around the world or anything.
Yeah.
He's been up and down England, and then was on TNA Boot Camp and won it, and that was it really.
Yeah.
So he hasn't really got an extensive career to really go into. But either way, I'm glad that they're keeping this TNA segment going because there's so many wrestlers there that I would actually be interested in hearing about. So after that, we had Dirty Hills, which is Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. I love both of these guys.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, brilliant. It was them versus the Bromans, which is Robbie E. And Jesse Goddard. Dirty Hills won. Aries pulled off a 450 splash onto, I think it was Jesse Goddard. And then they won the match. But afterwards, it looks like the Bromans are going to be breaking up. Sad face. Because Robbie E did his nut basically at Jesse Goddard, which is kind of a shame because I do like the two. That's what they do. Don't worry, it's just their thing. Especially like a horn sound. They just shout it.
Okay.
You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, after that, fight kicks off in the ring because, well, it didn't kick off in the ring actually. Homicide started beating the shit out of Angle backstage, and then spilled out into the ring. And then the rest of BDC came down. You had MVP and Kenny King. They ran down, carried on beating on Kurt Angle with Homicide. And then you had The Rising, which is Drew Galloway.
Yeah.
Christ, I can't remember the other two guys' names. There's Micah, which is Haku's son.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I can't remember the other guy's name. I've not seen him before.
Well informed.
But they were on last week's Impact, so if any of you had seen that, then you'll know who I'm on about. I can't remember his name, but they came down. It was basically just a way to get rid of the BDC and have Angle in the ring and Eric Young come down.
Right, I see.
It ended.
They teasing like he's going to save him, and then.
Yeah, well, he kind of did, because MVP, BDC, and The Rising ended up taking the fight backstage, leaving Angle and MVP in the ring. MVP had a chair in his hands. Angle was down on his knees. And then Eric Young come down, stopped MVP from smashing Angle over with the chair. Then they teased for all Willy won't he for Eric Young, who didn't hit him.
Right.
He threw the chair down and left the ring. So a bit more of a tease from possibly a face turn. But if not, even if he doesn't turn face, which I'm not really that bothered about if he turns face or not, I kind of like Eric Young as heel.
Right.
But at least this way it means we might actually get a genuine match with a genuine finish for the title next week.
Yeah,
It would be good to see Eric Young and Kurt Angle with a clean finish. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what they're going to go for, and maybe still keep Eric Young as heel. Right, so after that, we then got to the main event, which is the Ultimate X match. So it was the Hardys, Low Ki and Kenny King from the Beatdown Clan, which you guys can't see, but I thought of a fantastic name for Low Ki and Kenny King. So it's Low King. Get it? Low King, Low Ki, Kenny King, Low King.
We're still working on some of these jokes.
Yeah. Some of them don't need improving, but whatever. So yeah, it was Hardys, Low Ki, Kenny King, Bram, EC3, and Dirty Hills, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode. It was quite a good match. Obviously, there's going to be.
Sounds like there's a lot going on in the ring. There's a lot of people in one ring.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with a match like that, it's the same as like a triple threat match. There's always going to be people outside the ring, just so that the focus is in the ring. So a lot of the time, there was only 4 of them in the ring fighting. Yeah. So it was a pretty solid match. The main highlights from this match was Matt Hardy did a twist of fate to Kenny King off the ladder. Which is
seen it before.
Yeah, you've seen it before. So it wasn't really that great. But the best thing with the Ultimate X match was obviously they've got the ropes, haven't they, which form the X over the ring where the titles hang down. Yeah. But they've also got a metal frame that go over the ropes. Yeah. So Jeff Hardy climbed up the metal frame and walked along the rope.
What? Like
the X rope. So you know how high the X rope is above the ring?
So a single like walks a single rope across.
Yeah, while holding the frame.
I think you mean he just walked on his own.
No,
that would be incredible.
It's not, to be honest, he has actually run from one turnbuckle to pretty much the other turnbuckle, running the rope. The rope.
Adrian Edward can believe doing that. Jeff Hardy can't.
What, running the rope?
Yeah.
Oh.
Every time I've ever seen Jeff Hardy try to do that, he just falls off.
He didn't fall off. He legit ran from one turnbuckle to the other, running along the top rope, not holding anything, and jumped off to the outside.
That's impressive.
It did look pretty good. That was going back a few months now, but that was pretty good. But yeah, so
it's still impressive, But I mean, really, you could just hold yourself and pull yourself along and just have your feet.
There wasn't anything really amazing from it, but it was just the fact that
it
looked good and it was quite high. So the Hardys won, which I really didn't want them to. I wanted.
See, I think it's the trouble. Like, I mean, WWE do it at the time, but if you've got people like veterans like that who are still with the company now, and this is TNA's biggest problem they've had for years, is putting over new young talent. They can't. Look, there's a name. Let's make these guys champions because that'll get our ratings.
Yeah,
I mean, like, hang on, we've got all these young people. Hang on, and we've got these vets in. Let's put them over.
I know. I think at the moment it's because there's not really any like legit tag teams on the go in TNA.
The only way they can get a payoff with this is they've got to build the Hardys up as these dominant tag team champions. Yeah. Who are going to floor everyone. There's no one's going to beat them.
And then they put someone over.
And then they put someone over.
But
and that's the payoff. But if they don't,
then
it's just a waste of time.
My worry is because the Wolves are quite a fan favourite. So I'm worried that when the Wolves are back as a tag team and they're ready to go for the titles again,
back to them.
Yeah, the Hardys will just drop the titles to the Wolves again.
Yeah, it just seems pointless.
So I'm hoping not to see that. But I wanted the Beatdown Clan, Kenny King and Low Key. I wanted them to win because at the moment, I'm not really. There's no like the Beatdown Clan. They don't really seem like much of a threat for a faction. They just seem like pesky thugs, almost like Mean Street Posse or something.
Yeah.
They're not like. There's nothing really that bad about them. But at least if they had the titles, it would have given them a bit of
that was an awesome
power and yeah, they're alright one. Well, no, they were a Sunday Night Heat faction.
Can you name them?
Oh Christ. No, I don't know what they look like.
Joey Gas.
Yes. Joey Gas.
Joey something with it.
Joey something.
Joey Abs.
Joey Abs, that was it.
Pete Gas.
Pete Gas.
There's another one.
I can't remember.
Carry on.
But anyway.
I'll find out.
Right. So yeah, I would have wanted Loki and Kenny King to go for the to win and get the titles because at least that way the Beatdown Clan would have got some sort of weight behind them, a bit of power. It might look a bit more as a legit faction, whereas
Rodney. Sorry.
Right. So, but yeah, unfortunately the Hardys won. But overall, it was a good impact regardless of the outcome.
I'd say it's always nice to see something different. The whole tournament thing, like I think sometimes we were saying the other day we miss King of the Ring.
King of the Ring
because it's just different.
Yeah, it's nice when it's not just like when there's an actual like you can see almost like a structure to like rankings and things like that, tournaments and things like that. I really dig that.
Yeah, because wrestling can't have rankings; it just doesn't work.
No, yeah.
Like it doesn't matter about winning and lost records really in wrestling. Yeah. But yeah, having a King of the Ring, then it does make a difference. So, yeah. Well, a tournament, sorry. So.
But TNA are quite good for tournaments. They had one last year, which was I think it was last year. It was a points tournament. But you got a certain amount of points for a pin, submission.
You tell me, but it just sounds too complicated.
Oh, it wasn't. It was not.
I think it's just a straight away tournament.
They've had those as well, where it's just straight up tournaments.
I think that's TNA's always biggest problem with matches. They're trying to do. I mean,
they're trying to go for something different, though.
Different, but then sometimes different. It's too extravagant, and it's just like we get some crazy weird matches. Like we get a cage match with a roof on it with weapons hanging out, with a hole in the middle.
It's not a hole in the middle.
There's a TNA match with a cage and a hole in the middle. I've seen it.
I don't remember that.
In the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember actually. Yeah, okay. Well, granted, but at least they try different things.
Yeah, true.
They might not always work, but they try.
Okay.
But anyway, but yeah, overall it was a good impact, and it was the first impact without Taz, which is.
Was it just just
Josh Matthews?
Yeah.
Which.
How did he do it his own?
Yeah, he actually did alright.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. There was no real quiet segments or anything. But as we were saying before, we reckon Mike Tenay might be.
I think it's easy. I'm surprised they haven't done it. To me, it's just the easiest option to do.
Yeah, probably. But then I think a lot of people. I don't think they want Tenay on there because I think he's. They're probably going to think he's. I don't know. He's a bit too old.
I don't like Tenay, but personally to me, if I've got a void, I'm going to put it with someone.
Well, I like Tenay.
Let's just get this guy who just did it before.
Yeah.
So until they find a fix.
Well, as we said as well, there's rumours that they were trying out Al Snow for the commentating spot. Yeah. But I reckon even more likely than Mike Tenay, I reckon they'll get Jeremy Borash doing it. Oh no, JB's quality! Don't listen to him. Jeremy Borash is awesome. JB is...
I've seen him.
Is that right?
So he's got Comic-Con, that's it.
Was he actually?
Yeah, he's at Comic-Con.
And you didn't queue and get his autograph? Same as Robbie E. You missed
no
the opportunity
No one queued for Robbie E.
I would be queuing for Robbie E. Bro!
You had the queue for Al Snow, the queue for Mickey James, small queue for Magnus, no one for Robbie E.
I would have queued for every last one of them. Anyway, so it would be interesting to see what Al Snow's like on the commentary table. But I do reckon it's more than likely going to be Jeremy Borash at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so they fill the void.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was mainly it for Impacts.
Yeah.
If any of you got any questions or if you want to voice your opinion on Impacts, let us know below. You can also tweet us. We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
What is our?
It's at Top Rope Wrestling
Podcast.
Podcast 1.
At Top Rope Podcast Wrestling.
We'll put like a thing here.
Right down here. This probably round about here where this laptop is will be the hashtag. Or it's not even a hashtag.
Tweet us. And we will tweet you because we've got nothing better to do.
Yeah. Right, so that's Impact of the week. Right, so what have we got next?
SmackDown.
Right, So, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch SmackDown this week. Got a few things going on in my life. No, not that. Basically, I fell behind on wrestling. I've been watching a lot of Stargate.
It's a good show.
And Daredevil.
Awesome
show. We'll talk about that later if we get time. But anyway, so do you want to kick it off with SmackDown? I know roughly what happened on SmackDown.
Yeah, so this is obviously recorded the other week, so they're still in England for this one, so they're two again. So we start off with Bray Wyatt and R-Truth. Quick match, Bray wins pretty much.
Pretty much wins.
Well, he wins. There's no doubt. There's no controversy. He just wins. What they're doing with Bray Wyatt, I don't know. I think a month ago he had a match with Undertaker at WrestleMania, and now he's squash matching R-Truth. He did these video packages, and apparently it's going to. I thought it was going to be Randy Orton, but apparently it's going to be Ryback.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you
I can't stand Ryback.
No, and I just don't see from Taker to squash matches to Ryback.
Do you know where they could have gone with the whole Bray Wyatt? Because Bray Wyatt's kind of lost at the moment, isn't he? He's kind of in the middle of.
He does this. He has this big feud with someone, and then it's just he kind of withers out and has a small feud with someone, and then it's a big feud with someone again. Yeah.
So at the moment he's kind of lost, isn't he? Right. But what would have been good is because at the moment it looks like Kane might be going back to the Monster. It would have been good if they somehow got Bray Wyatt to bring Kane back as the Monster. Because
but when Bray Wyatt first debuted, it was against Kane.
Yeah, but this way you could bring back as a Monster and they could maybe be a tag team or something.
No, you don't want to see that.
Well, I don't know, why not? Well, otherwise we're just going to be seeing these pointless matches with Bray Wyatt fighting.
It's not pointless, they just need to give him direction, like go for something. He should be higher in the rankings than where he is at the moment.
I haven't seen that much of Bray Wyatt, but so far, like what I have seen, I wouldn't really rate him that much.
He's alright.
He's more like
his character is his best thing.
Yeah, that seems to be more what it is.
But I mean, he is solid in the ring.
Yeah.
But fair, like what's the last match you saw with Taker? And that was a very protected match. Yeah,
that match I was a bit let down by. I wasn't expecting much from it, to be honest. But
we then get Miz versus Bad News Barrett. So Barrett gets popped in England again. Don't mind it. Very quick match. Barrett wins again.
Nice.
Basically, what this is it's setting up for the Miz versus Miz Dow.
Right.
They have a segment basically saying next week on Raw, they should have a fight to determine who wins the gimmick of the Miz.
Seriously,
I liked where this was going at the beginning when Miz Dow was the Miz's stunt double. It was funny, it was awesome, and then they kind of built the feud up to have it in the Battle Royale at WrestleMania. That wasn't even the focal point of the match.
Right.
And now since then they've just really lost it, and now they're just dragging it out to no. So the match setup's on Monday, so whoever wins gets the Miz gimmick.
Brilliant.
If you want, why you'd want that, I don't know.
That is, yeah. What is the Miz gimmick then? Is it the cool guy thing with the glasses?
Yeah, it's just because where Miz Dow's been copying being his stunt double,
right?
He gets to be him.
So what happens to the Miz if Miz Dow wins? Does Miz have to shave his hair?
This is wrestling logic.
Has to wear a mask.
We'll get to Raw. We'll get to that.
Okay.
So next we get Sheamus versus Neville. It's good to see Neville again, still getting decent matches against top people as well.
Yeah.
This was a really good match. I think it really proved that it made Neville look really small. I mean, when you watch NXT, Neville doesn't look like a small guy, does he?
He does look like a small guy, but he doesn't look. He doesn't look overly small.
And
it's
I don't
not
know, maybe
small.
he looks small. It just reminds me how big Sheamus really is.
Yeah, how big is Sheamus?
He's
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's big.
You saw the difference, but I think the good thing about this match is it made Neville prove he's not just going to play the small guy card.
Right.
He won't be like a Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, which is good.
It was a solid match where. But yeah, he still was the faster one and the high flyer, but it didn't make him look like it. They didn't do that with David versus Goliath. It was still a solid match, and I think it proved that small guys can still push that main event. It doesn't have to be the big 7 foot tall guys who have to be in the main event.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've only got to look at Adrian Neville and Kevin Owens back in NXT, where Kevin Owens Kevin Owens isn't a massively tall guy.
He's quite a small guy, to be fair. Compared to Sheamus, he'd make him look small.
Yeah. Do you think that's just like an illusion of your eyes though? Because the NXT arena's small, everything's smaller.
I think if you put him in against Sheamus, he'd look small.
Yeah. Alright.
But it was a solid match.
It's always going to be a solid match with Adrian Neville.
I like the fact. I mean, he's not getting the wins still at the moment.
Right, but as long as he's
still getting TV time, and they had 2 long matches on SmackDown, and this was one of them.
Right.
And he's been spotlighted on each event he's been there.
Yeah.
He's had a spotlight match. Which
Did he win this one then?
no, well, he won by disqualification. Same as 3-1 to the announce table.
We got disqualified for that. What?
Basically, then he started beating down on him, and then Dolph Ziggler came out for the save because they're feuding.
Right.
Unfortunately, this is where it gets bad. So I mean, I like Dolph Ziggler, and Sheamus is solid.
Yeah.
So the match they're going to now have at Extreme Rules is a Kiss My Arse match, where the winner has to kiss my arse.
My arse. Kiss me arse.
And it's not even a Kiss My Arse match. It is
Right.
a Kiss My Arse match. It's even the way
They spell it,
They
arse.
spell it, yeah, arse, because he's Irish.
Oh gosh. How about
Shit
one
is
and
gimmick. Oh, it's not a gimmick. Oh. The match will be good, and we'll just turn off. We'll just skip from the end of it.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good.
We then get New Day versus Los Matadors. New Day win.
I mean, from what I've seen of both those, New Day, to me, no, I'm not racist, but they're just like black.
It's been
boom,
like,
chuck them
what should we
together.
do with culture people?
Oh, they're all the
Skew
same.
us together.
They're all black.
And we just, hang on, did we ever go the Nation of Domination? That was like it. They, we got even blacker one this time. We can put them all together.
Yeah,
I'm
real.
surprised K Quick hasn't joined them yet.
Give it time. K Quick
yeah,
will be there.
Yeah.
And Los Matadors, they're just, to me, they're like they're just a cheap lucha team.
Yeah. They're just a tag team.
Yeah.
New Day win, so it's kind of pushing the tag team division. We get Fandango versus Adam Rose. Fandango wins. So you got to say his name.
Fandango.
It's not Fandango. It's Fandango.
Go right to the camera and do it.
Fandango.
Sorry.
You actually watch SmackDown, WWE, you'll know.
Right, okay.
So Fandango wins.
Right.
Quick match. Interesting enough, they do mess up. He plays this heel music for them to realise that actually no, he's turned face now. So let's play his face music.
What? While he's coming down to the ring?
No. This is after he wins the match, and basically they play his heel music. But last week of all, he actually turned face.
Right.
So they mess up, and then suddenly it all kind of switch to the face music. And we get the whole crowd that. Da, 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 da.
Right. I'm not going to do the dance.
He hasn't watched that now. He'll get into it.
No, I don't know, but...
So we then get to the main event, which is John Cena and Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
It should be, on paper, it should be a
Yeah, it was a good match. I think it was mainly done to protect Daniel Bryan because they knew he was injured, so it's like, let's put him on the show but protect him. By the tag match, he must have been in the actual match for about 2 minutes,
Right.
where Cena did a lot of the boot work for his side, so he's protecting Daniel Bryan but still putting on a decent main event.
Right. How do you reckon they're going to write Daniel Bryan off then?
They've already announced on Raw that he is injured, so I think it's matter they're just going to say it. They don't think they're right watching it. They literally
right.
just say Daniel Bryan has sustained an injury.
Right.
He's going to be off for.
Does that mean he's going to have to vacate the IC Championship?
Well, it's 5 weeks, so I don't know if they will. I don't.
Considering like Brock Lesnar goes like 5 weeks at a time where he
Yeah,
doesn't
I'd be
appear on
surprised if
TV.
they did. If they did, yeah, it's like we've got a world heavyweight champion who's on TV for 3 months. Oh, but Daniel Bryan's going to miss a month. And it's the IC title. That's before now. It has never got defended in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Let's take it off him.
Well, let's hope he keeps the title, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, I don't know, he could... Oh
I
my
think-
god,
I think-
Adrian Neville. Perfect candidate for the title, for the IC Championship.
Yeah. I wouldn't be minded if they have an open match and Barrett wins it, or even if it's Neville versus Barrett and Barrett wins.
Right.
I don't have a problem with them putting the shot back on Barrett.
Do you reckon at any point they might bring back the European Championship?
It's been talked about.
Because there's a lot of Europeans in there.
Yeah.
In WWE now.
I feel like it wouldn't get.
It wouldn't get used. I'd like to see
No.
it back because I don't know. When I think of
I don't think
belts-
you need it because before, back when we had it, we had the IC and the European title. Now we have the US and the IC title.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be another one that would get lost.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, so it might be pointless. but-
But yeah, it was a good match. I like to see the fact that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, it may be fighting Daniel Bryan and John Cena, it may be irrelevant to them, but they can still get the main event still.
yeah.
So and they're good together.
mean-
They matched well together. So yeah, it's a solid match. It was good.
Nice.
And that's SmackDown.
Yeah.
So two decent matches and a 2-hour show.
I can't imagine the show dragged though.
No,
Like-
it didn't feel like Raw. It wasn't like that. But
Right.
yeah, it wasn't a bad match. Well, I think I'd like to see more long 8-minute matches as opposed to something like 3-4 squash matches.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 decent matches, a couple of squash ones.
But then they have to have a couple of squash, don't they?
Yeah, it's fine,
for,
but I
for
think-
story. But
But when you watch a show and it's more squash than long matches.
yeah, that's where it draws back. So is that it for SmackDown?
That was it for SmackDown. So.
Alright, so let's go to Raw then.
Raw.
So that's this week's Raw.
Yeah, that's this week's Raw.
Yeah.
So we start off with Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. These two have been feuding. They haven't really explained why they're feuding. I think it's because Luke Harper powerbombed him for a ladder at WrestleMania in the
in the TLC.
and they just started to feud. It's I'm not against it. They're both they're quite hard hitting.
That was a pretty sick powerbomb from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring onto a ladder that was on the apron and the barricade.
It looks either way it's going to hurt.
Yeah, you just know you can't fake that.
The fight goes into the crowd. They spit out. I think I'm not even sure who wins the match. If I'm honest, I think it's just good count out. I imagine.
Oh, right.
They then bring it back in, and then Luke Harper powerbombs Dean Ambrose for the announce table.
Right.
And then they announce it's a street fight for their match at Extreme Rules.
Right.
Which I think both of them will put on a decent match.
Right.
I think both of them are kind of lost where to go at the moment and what to be doing. So putting them together, I'm fine with. They're going to put a side match on. So
yeah.
We then get the new.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. The New Day versus the Lucha Dragons in a #1 contender match.
Black. New Day.
Versus the Mexicans.
Yeah, basically, it's the blacks versus the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Jesus, East versus West. Well, be East versus South, I guess, wouldn't it?
So obviously they #1 contender match for the tag titles, which we defended at Extreme Rules in the pre-show again.
Right.
Building a tag team division, and the only time you defend the titles on the pre-show.
That's so poor. That's what happened. If you didn't see WrestleMania. The tag team champions, which was Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, they defended their championship in the pre-show before WrestleMania.
I can't remember the last time a tag team title was defended that wasn't on the pre-show.
That's so bad. That is so bad. What's that?
It almost doesn't bother me though because it's all on the network now. Before you have to find it on YouTube and then.
On the pre-show.
Yeah, it's all on the network, so you still, if you watch the pay-per-view on the network, you just see it and there's no difference.
True. Well, alright.
But yeah, I do agree. Surprisingly, New Day won.
What, over Lucha?
Yeah. Which I was surprised at because I
thought they were giving the Lucha Dragons a push.
Because obviously the Usos are out at the moment, so... but then it kind of is this weird dynamic because New Day were face, but the last week they have turned heel, but then Tyson Kidd as though were heel on SmackDown, but for this match, surely they're going to be face. Because they are fan favourites. So the anti-heels, but... So yeah.
Time will tell.
I would have much preferred to see Lucha Dragons win the match and push a new tag team, but I'm sure we'll get there. Yeah. So, was what it was. We then get Fandango versus Axelmania. Fandango wins with the leg drop. It's a good leg drop he does.
Top rope
leg drop. Yeah, it just looks good.
But they laying down on the mat.
Yeah. So,
I've always liked this whole leg drop. Do you remember the Houston Hangover, Book 2's?
Yeah.
I think that might have been more from his WCW days.
Yeah.
It's a flipping leg drop.
Yeah.
From the top rope.
Why Fandango is getting such a push at the moment on quick, short matches?
It is a bit weird, isn't it?
I don't know where they're going with it. The trouble is, he's a really good wrestler with a really shit gimmick. He's done well for it. He's made it what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they're going with it.
My sort of understanding of what they were doing was, I think maybe when he was face originally, he was over with the crowd, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe WWE thought, right, we might be able to give him more of a push, turning him heel. And then it kind of flopped as heel, so they're just turning him face again, trying to get used. But they should just lose that whole gimmick in total.
Yeah, I think he's better than the gimmick.
Yeah, it's just a rip-off of Disco Inferno as well from WCW. But yeah, they just need to get rid of that gimmick and it's kind of fanny.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We then get Triple H comes back, which is his first appearance since WrestleMania. Basically to announce Tough Enough and saying how you can apply for the show right now.
Right.
Right now we can do it.
You're gonna apply?
We can do it on this podcast. We can send this podcast to Triple H.
WWE, this is why I'm applying for the Tough Enough. See, I've got what it takes physically, and I've got what it takes on the mic. Call me up. I've lost it now. Don't worry. I can't cut a promo. Go on.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Next week, the entry to the Tough Enough video.
Right.
Yeah, it was alright. It was a bit weird because Triple H was really heel, like probably his big heel.
Especially against Sting. It was
Sting, and then he's kind of... He was heel, it just...
Was it almost like it wasn't character? It wasn't Kane?
Yeah, it was out of character, but then Kane came down to the ring and he was back in character, but he was still like, kind of heel.
Yeah, that whole thing with Triple H being like the figurehead of legit stuff, like not kayfabe, not in character, with Tough Enough, and then it merging into characters.
The announcement should have just been a video that aired. It shouldn't have been Triple H live doing it.
Yeah, it should have just been a VT.
Yeah, if he'd done it live, like a VT of him doing it, that'd been fine. But then because he was in the ring and then went into a segment, it kind of lost it.
Yeah,
so.
anything that happens in the ring should be like in kayfabe. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be out of character, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
Unless it's like an introduction to the Hall of Fame or some shit like that.
Yeah. We then get Kane coming down the ring saying he wants to give Triple H his 2 weeks' notice because he can't be dealing with Seth Rollins.
2 weeks' notice.
2 weeks' notice.
Bullshit is a 2 weeks' notice he has to give.
Triple H says, this is silly. He's known Kane for years. He's one of the scariest guys he knows. Seth, him and Seth Rollins owes him stuff. He needs to get along with each other. Seth Rollins then comes out and they start bickering. He kind of felt a bit childish. Like Triple H saying, "Come on, guys, you're on the same side with authority."
Right.
I really like the authority gimmick, right? And it has been going for about a year now, right?
Right.
But what is the authority? Like, it's just now. I swear it's just Triple H, Stephanie, Seth Rollins, J&J Security, and Kane.
Yeah.
It used to be Randy Orton as well, but it's no longer this faction. It's now Triple H who doesn't wrestle.
Yeah.
It's Seth Rollins, the champion, who's got 2 bodyguards.
Yeah. Two tiny bodyguards.
Yeah.
They are good.
And corporate Kane.
Hmm.
I feel like the authority's lost its momentum. Like, I think they need to have an authority figure to feud against. It's always got to be there. I think it should just be Triple H and Seth Rollins. But
yeah,
I don't know. This faction of the authorities kind of thinned out now. So
well, maybe they're going to eventually get rid of that.
Yeah.
And go
so Triple H rewards Kane for his loyalty to the authority,
right,
by making him the gatekeeper of the steel cage match at Extreme Rules.
Right.
So the gatekeepers make sure that no one gets in and no one gets out.
Except you can almost put money on it that J&J Security will get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. We get a Divas match. It's Naomi versus Brie Bella. I didn't watch the match, if I'm honest.
No, that's fair enough.
Naomi wins. She'll fight the other Nikki Bella for the title Extreme Rules.
Right.
We then get Roman Reigns comes out saying, calls out the Big Show, calling him a wimp and he's a coward and he should come fight him now. And the Extreme Rules, he's going to knock him out in the last. There's going to be a last round standing match.
Roman Reigns and who?
Big Show.
Oh.
So we'll get to that bit in a second, alright?
Right, okay.
We then get Bo Dallas comes to the ring.
Right.
He's a Bo leave. The only bit I liked about this bit, basically, he comes to the ring and just says how Roman Reigns is rubbish. He failed at WrestleMania. He failed at this, and he said, "I liked this bit because I think he must have read it."
Right.
He said, "Just like in the best Star Wars film episode, best Star Wars episode ever, and the best quote from Yoda, episode 1." Do not try, or whatever the line was. But the fact he quoted saying episode 1 was the best one was obviously just to gain heat from that.
Yeah,
which I thought was a kind of like...
No one likes episode 1.
Yeah, there's just like a really sly like heel like heat.
It's like a proper geek heat.
Yeah, it's just like referring to Star Wars episode, the best one, episode 1.
He might as well have just gone in, picked up the one and gone, Mr. Jar Jar Binks!
Yeah. Roman Reigns super punches him and spears him. He does. Do you know what? He did that as well.
But that as well.
Which I don't mind it when he does it in a match.
I get it during a match.
But it's the surprise to run up someone while they're talking. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, that's a bit silly. I get it in a match. It's like, Shawn Michaels stomping the mat when he's
But you wouldn't just like, oh my god, what's Michaels doing while Ric Flair's doing his promo? Oh, super kicks him.
I know. It's just like me being like, boosh.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
As far as the match goes, I mean, Roman Reigns went from main event in WrestleMania to last man standing match was a Big Show.
It is a big bad drop, but maybe they're listening to the fans because fans.
I mean, God, no one wants to. I don't know why I'm moaning for, because if Roman Reigns was in the main event, I'd probably be moaning.
Mm.
But I think they could do something better.
They could be doing something better with Roman Reigns than Big Show.
I honestly think they should put the IC title on him.
Maybe
because I know why Daniel Bryan's a fan favourite, but I think you've got John Cena bringing like all this new stuff to the title, and then you can at least have Roman Reigns give it to him, and at least it's like building him up, it's preparing for the future, giving him time to prove and like getting ready to be that main event now.
No, I do agree. That would be I reckon it'd be a smart move.
Yeah, or maybe Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns for the title at SummerSlam.
Right,
I can see that happening. So then we get Sheamus versus Zack Ryder. I completely forgot about this.
Right,
but it just reminded me. So on SmackDown,
right.
On the turnbuckles, it was extra higher than normal, slightly.
Right, with the camera in it.
Yeah, the camera in it. Yeah.
They've been doing that for ages.
Are they?
I don't even watch Raw's SmackDown,
They don't
and
have-
I know this.
They didn't have it on Raw.
Right, but I've seen it. Like they've been doing it for a while.
I do apologise. So you get Sheamus versus Zack Ryder. Sheamus just beats the crap out of Zack Ryder, just proper building. He's a heel.
Yeah.
He even gets a mic and talks to him while he does it.
Really?
Yeah.
During the match.
Yeah. Well, it's not a match. It's just Zack Ryder's laid out and he's just beating him and talking to him while he does it.
Right.
So he's just really building as he's a big heel thing.
Yeah.
And then Dolph comes out for the save again, beats them Sheamus.
Right.
Kane then says how he Triple H says to Kane how he should hang it up. He's not a wrestler anymore. He's a I can't remember his job title is now. He works for Triple H. He's the suit. He's a suit. He's not the masked Kane, the Hellfire Room Zone. He's that suit.
Right. Yeah.
So Kane says he's wrong and he's going to go prove himself.
It's just a dog's body, isn't it?
Yeah. So Cena comes out for his open turtle challenge as always.
Right.
Kane answers. It's an alright match, but I've seen Kane and Cena match so many times.
Yeah.
There was nothing new to it.
Plus, there's nothing to gain from Kane winning the title.
No. It was just to prove that he's not
Yeah.
who he was.
I'm guessing Cena won with an FU or an AA.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So afterwards, you see Kane come out the back and he walks past Triple H, and Triple H kind of gives him this look like, "Yes, I told you so," and Kane's just like, "Oh,
Well done.
Yeah. So then we get the Miz versus Mizdow for the right for the gimmick.
Right.
So you would think they try and build it a bit, it's something.
Right.
It was not even a 5-minute match. And
Seriously?
Summer Rae, who is with Mizdow, turns on Mizdow and lines up with Miz.
So
and Miz wins the gimmick. I think it's just a big waste of time.
So they've been building up this feud between them for ages, and then they're not even a 5-minute
I don't know
match.
where it goes to. You think they could even have this match on a pay-per-view? I'm not saying I want to see the match on the pay-per-view, but build up for a pay-per-view, not a 5-minute squash match on Raw.
No, that's not really good, is it?
Triple H comes out and says Seth Rollins will fight Dolph as he was meant to last week on Raw, and this week he will defend his title against Dolph Ziggler. Sorry, it's a non-title match, but we'll have the match against Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
It was a good match.
This is Ziggler and Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, I like both guys.
Both guys.
Both guys are really good. It was a really solid match. I would prefer to see this at pay-per-view, and I think I'd rather see Dolph feuding with Seth. Really.
Right.
I'm not a massive Randy Orton fan, so
I do like Randy Orton, but
it brings up. He hasn't changed in years.
no. When people say Randy Orton, they just think of an RKO out.
That's the best thing he's got going.
Yeah, that's.
But no, the match was really good.
It is good though.
Seth Rollins wins the match. Sheamus comes out and distracts Dolph because he gets the win.
Right.
I say this way debuts his new finisher, which is it was alright.
Right.
I didn't mind it.
No. Has it got a name? Do you know?
No.
The DDT.
No, not yet.
What do you reckon I'll call it?
Seth drop.
Seth drop. Be better calling it like cashing in or something.
I don't know. We'll prepare finally.
Alright, okay. When we know the name, we'll let you know.
Seth gets the mic and starts chatting shit, saying how Kane's bickering against Kane.
Right.
Kane comes down to the ring. Triple H is holding him back. Jane Esco just telling him not to go in. Randy Orton tells him to bring down the cage. So as he brings down the cage, Randy Orton slips in, starts beating on Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins climbs the ropes, and then Randy Orton pulls him by the leg and RKOs him. It looks alright. They're building the RKO because he was banned in the match.
Right.
So and that was it. And it's all leading to Extreme Rules this
Which is
Sunday. So
Sunday.
there's one more SmackDown to go, and then it'll be Extreme Rules.
Right. Okay.
So, but we'll do our own podcast.
Yeah, we're going to do a separate video for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Which will be uploaded the same time when we do the weekly show, but it will just be a separate sort of 15-minute video on the pay-per-view. So that was Raw then.
Yeah. NXT.
Right. So. Ooh. Okay. So NXT then started off. It kicked off with Solomon Crowe versus CJ Parker. So I'm guessing this is CJ Parker's last match.
That's what I read, but I think he was on tonight actually.
Right.
I have to check. Is either his last one or tonight's one will be his last one?
Right. Okay. Well, either way, I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of Solomon Crowe.
Yeah, I haven't seen what's to be fussed about him yet.
No. Yeah. I mean, we've only seen 2 matches with him.
And we still forget. We analyse NXT, but it's still
Developmental.
Yeah, so you can't expect everyone to be perfect. There's still
True. But they gave him a big old build-up, and
Yeah.
at the moment I've not really seen anything to rate him on. But the match itself was probably CJ Parker's biggest match
The
he's
best,
ever had in
the
NXT.
best match I've ever seen him have anyway,
Yeah.
since I've started watching NXT.
It was the longest match I've seen CJ Parker have.
Yeah.
And it did kind of show that CJ Parker's not that bad in the ring.
I never thought he was bad, they just never gave him a chance.
Yeah, he's really
I think
underrated.
his character didn't help.
No, his character was a bit weak.
Yeah.
But it didn't help that every time you saw CJ Parker, it was just jobbing. He was just laying down on the mat for someone, wasn't
Yeah, usually a debate. I think everyone I've seen debut in NXT has pretty much been to CJ Parker.
Yeah.
Apart from Hideo and Finn.
he? But that's true. But they've already Hideo and Finn already have a big name for themselves. So the match was pretty good. As we said, CJ Parker's best match in NXT to memory. After that match, we had Baron Corbin.
Your favourite?
Oh, don't even get me started on Baron Corbin versus Steve Cutler.
I don't know what we're talking about, because what we're talking about is lasted longer than the match has.
Oh, I know, yeah. So Baron Corbin against a jobber, again, another squash match. How long did it last? It probably lasted about 20 seconds. So he did pull off a clothesline. Very impressive, a clothesline. And then straight into...
I said you can't blame his skill, it's how he's booked. Not saying he can wrestle.
No.
I'm just saying it's booked.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm
He's
thinking...
booked like that because I really honestly think he can't wrestle. The only move...
I'm trying to think, we've been watching NXT since the takeover, which is Fatal 4-Way, so some points a day, but it's got to be near on a year.
It's at least 6 months.
Or 9 months, if not.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably been like 9
And that's when
months.
Baron Corbin debuted, was in that special.
Yeah,
right?
and all we've seen him do
And I've
is
seen him have
days.
3 matches tops that have been longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been...
And they weren't to talk about.
Oh, you can't get me started on
It's been
Baron
one.
Corbin.
It's
I
been
hate Baron Corbin. Waste of time, waste of space.
But good finisher.
I'm sick of it now. I've seen it so many times that it's not even impressive anymore. There is nothing about him that he should not be on TV. Let's move on. So next we had Enzo Amore and Corbin Cassidy soft.
But you didn't do the Enzo impression.
Oh, I'm not very good at doing Enzo impression. No, and you can teach that. Anyway, so Enzo and Cass versus Angelo Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton.
Who have been on a few times before, I think.
Yeah, but if you showed me a picture of them, I wouldn't be able to name them.
No.
If you showed me a picture of them, I probably wouldn't even remember that I've seen them, let alone remember their names.
If you didn't type down their names, I wouldn't know who you were about.
No. It was just a match to get Enzo and Cass over. They're already over. I'm hoping it's...
Their entrance is over more than their wrestling. But the wrestling's not bad.
Yeah, the wrestling's not... It's not amazing, but...
I really want to see him debut in the main roster. I don't think they're going to have a big push. But I can see them on Superstars, and they're going to get a cold crowd behind them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch them just for their entrance.
Yeah. And they are pretty good in the ring as well. They're not brilliant.
Yeah, they're solid enough.
Yeah, but hopefully it's leading towards a title shot for them.
Also, Blake Murphy come down and give Carmella some flowers. So my thinking, because obviously they're going to have the match soon for the titles.
Yeah.
Is Carmella going to be a factor in that match?
Yeah, of course she is.
Do you reckon turn heel?
Carmella's going to turn heel during that match.
Yeah.
That'll be how Blake and Murphy keep titles. I don't mind Blake and Murphy.
Or I reckon that she's not going to turn, but she inadvertently distracts them and it'll cost them the match.
Maybe, yeah.
So we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
We then get the debut of Diana Brooks.
Not Diana, Danny Brooks. Is that Danny or Danny Brooks or something? Jazz Walken.
I think so.
Right, so do you want to explain to the audience who Dana or Danny Brooks is? Right, so basically she's an ex-bodybuilder. Let's be honest, she is fit.
She's not.
She is, but let's skip past that then. She had a quick debut match against Blue Pants.
Blue
Pants!
Love it.
It is good.
It's the best entrance ever.
It is. It was an okay match. She finished with, I don't know what it's called, I just call it a Mikonoshi driver.
That's what it is.
Is that actually what it can't be called a Mikonoshi driver? There's no way that he's the first person that ever came up with that.
I think that's what that move's called.
Oh, it must be a driver something, but...
I'm sure that's what it's called.
Oh. Fair enough. Well, she finished with a...
To me, the only impressive thing about that match was she could do the flip thing. That's kind of cool.
Well, the cartwheel.
Yeah.
No-handed cartwheel.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't sign Blue Pants.
Yeah. Blue Pants.
She's more over.
She's
more over than... I suppose she's more over than some of the divas.
Yeah.
She's more impressive than a lot of the divas on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. She's just like an average wrestler. I would say she's not quite as... I wouldn't say she's the same level as...
She's not like Bayley or Charlotte or Sasha Banks. But
No, she's not.
yeah, I don't think she's more impressive than...
Let me just explain what happened there. We didn't realise that there's an hour limit on the recording. So it cut off, and we're going to stitch this video onto it. Right. So yeah, back to Dana and Blue Pants. Nothing amazing, but we'll see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's got something hidden up her vag. Let's hope not. Actually, that could be a bit grim.
No, I think there probably is something hidden up her badge.
Hand. Okay, let's ignore that. So we'll just go straight on to the next match, which is the main event of the night. Sami Zayn.
Returning Sami Zayn.
Returning Sami Zayn versus Rhino.
Go.
Yes. We both know I'm not a massive fan of Sami Zayn. Now, before I start getting heat for this, he is awesome on the mic. He is awesome in the ring. I can't fault the guy, but I don't really. He's too super face, and I don't like
because he's not Cena. Cena is super face.
He's if Sami Zayn makes it on the main roster, he will be the next Cena.
But can wrestle.
Yeah, true.
So what's wrong with that?
No, but I don't know. To me, he's just got PG written all over him, and that's what I want to steer away from. I don't want WWE to carry on.
We'll never go back to Attitude.
I know.
Don't be one of these fanboys. The Attitude was best team.
You know it was. You can't tell me.
But wrestling wise, was it though? You tell me use the best matches you've ever seen.
No.
Because if you ask me now, technical wrestling has got wrestling matches, pure wrestling is better now than it ever has been.
Right, but you can't fault a lot of the old wrestlers from back then. You can't fault Chris Benoit.
But if
Benoit
doing a word completely different. I think back when you had like Val Venus.
Val Venus was well underrated.
Yeah.
I watched.
But would you rather watch him or Finn Balor or Sami Zayn?
I'd like to see Sami Zayn.
Daniel Bryan or Chris Benoit. They were solid,
right?
But there were much better technical wrestlers out there.
Right. Okay. Well, that's an argument for another day, isn't it?
Okay.
But Sami Zayn wins, obviously.
It was an alright match. I think I've just seen better from both.
Yeah, but then Rhino has to hold back because
I like the fact
that
they have Rhino on there. See, this is what NXT, not WWE's doing. NXT doing with TNA on it, putting over talent. If this was TNA, you got to admit Rhino would have won this match.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And
like WWE would Raw and SmackDown would have been the same, but NXT is they're actually getting bets in and putting. Every bet I've seen come in has always put someone over. I mean, they've had people come in and they've lost, but then eventually it leads to something. Right,
but what you've got to remember though is TNA isn't a developmental organisation. TNA are trying to draw money in, so. But
building superstars for the future, which I know that's NXT don't, but TNA they don't have that, so they need to still do it. So.
Yeah, I get that, right, and I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, you have got to remember, it's not. They're bringing in these big names into TNA because they want to exploit it. They want to market them and they want to get money.
They're still in there.
Well,
but they don't have to give them the belts.
But what would be the point in bringing Kurt Angle in and Kurt Angle jobbing to loads of unknowns?
But how many people has Kurt Angle put over?
Loads of people.
Yeah, I was like, he has.
Right.
But I'm saying the Hardys. This is another discussion for another day.
The Hardys I can't agree on. So. But either way, it was a good match.
It was a right match. The only thing I think I'm missing when I see a Rhino match is that all I hear is Paul Heyman go, God! They should just bring Paul Heyman in for commentating every time Rhino has a match.
Paul Heyman should be a commentator on every WWE show.
Yeah. And announcer.
TNA, Paul Heyman should literally be the only voice you hear.
In wrestling.
In all of WWE. Yeah. No wrestler should even need to cut a promo. Just have Paul Heyman stood at the ring being like, so-and-so saying this. And yeah, okay. Okay, I didn't know where I was going with that, but whatever.
So yeah,
that was NXT. Another solid, even though there was a couple of matches that weren't all that.
But next week we're getting Alex Riley and Kevin Owens again. If it means I see Kevin Owens powerbomb the crap out of Alex Riley, I'll watch that.
I really don't like Alex Riley.
No.
I don't get why.
And we get a 3-way match for number 1 contender for the Divas title. Sorry, NXT World title, which is Charlotte,
who we haven't seen for a
Bayley,
while,
and Becky Lynch, which will be a solid match.
Yes, Becky Lynch is quite underrated.
I think all three will put on a good match.
Yeah, that'll be a good match. And once again, I'm not normally a fan of triple threat matches, but this should be quite a solid match.
Yeah. And that was this week's of wrestling.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps up our first uploaded episode of Top Rope Podcast. We are going to have some segments in it moving forward. I mean, at the moment, as you probably noticed, there's no real structure to how we're doing this. It's kind of a little bit chop suey, I was about to say. It's kind of a little bit all over the place, but that's something that we'll hopefully grow with. So if you managed to watch the video all the way to the end,
thanks.
Thank you very much for being patient.
Your check's in the mail.
Yeah. Please hit like, and if you liked it and you want to see more,
subscribe as well.
Subscribe, yeah.
And follow us on Twitter,
which should be down here. You don't need to do the sound effects, but okay. But please, if you did enjoy it, subscribe, and then hopefully you'll get to watch us grow and grow with us.
In front of the millions and millions.
Maybe millions. Probably more likely the hundreds of thousands. That's where I'm going to go with.
The 1 and 2s.
The ones. I reckon this time next week we'll have 4 followers. 4 subscribers, I reckon. This time next week, god damn it. By the next video we're going to have 4 subscribers. We'll let you know. We will have 4 or more. Right, so that wraps up this week. Top Rope Podcast is out.
Signing off.
See you later.